So everyone really talks about having a perfect resume. Even I have said it myself, right? But one thing I need to know is perfect is very relative. And what is perfect for one organization might not necessarily be perfect for the other. So in this video, what I want to show you is 5 golden rules you should definitely take into account regardless of, whichever organization you're applying for. Now, the first golden rule I would say, and this is very specific to graduates, recent graduates. So I assume that, the majority of people that watch my videos are either recent graduates, early professionals, early on in their career. The first golden rule I would say is, if you're a recent graduate, most of the time, your CVs should not be longer than 1 page. Now, I've seen people with a recent graduate, she graduated a month ago, and you have a 5-page CV. Even me, I've been working for close to 5 years now. My CV is not even up to 5 pages. My CV is 2 pages, right? So the first fundamental, I don't know what you want to do. Your CV, ideally, if you're a recent graduate or early professional, should not be longer than a page. If you have worked for Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, Meta, you have done all of that, and you have so many years of work experience, maybe say, okay, from your mother's womb, max 2 pages. But to be serious, I would say it shouldn't be longer than a page, which is a fundamental rule. So look for ways to really say your points succinctly, concise, crisp. You will see that when you force yourself to just squish a file or just, reduce or deword a 5-sentence point into 1 sentence, you see that you actually go to the point faster and straighter. So I would say that the first golden rule, and I'm really saying so much love and emphasis, is try your best to reduce your CV to 1 page. It just makes a difference. It is straight to the point. You're just very concise in the words you're saying, and it's easier for the person reviewing your CV. So that's the first golden rule, 1-page CV for early career professionals. The second golden rule is you want to arrange your CV in descending order. What exactly do I mean by that? So you always start out with your latest experience. A good example for myself is, so now I'm currently working in a management consulting firm. But before that, during my NYSC, I served as a lecturer in a university. Before that, I had interned in a previous management consulting firm. Now, how exactly do I want to arrange it? As you see that my latest experience is my current management consulting role, right? So that would come first. Afterwards, even depending on, the order, afterwards, then my next experience will come, and then my next experience will come. So you want to always arrange your CV. Even if it's in the same organization, you want to arrange your CV by descending order. So starting out with the latest role, your current role today. I'm currently a consultant, so I would put consulting this organization first. Then I would go, okay, before a consultant, I was a senior associate. So my senior associate role will come next. Before a senior associate, I was an associate, and so that would come afterwards. Before an associate, I was a business analyst. So if I was to put everything in my CV, it's going to come in that order. So I'm arranging it based off what? The progression in a descending order, starting out with my current and latest role. If all of this sounds like gibberish in some way, shape, or form, I created another video where I walked through the different sections of the CVs, how exactly you should frame each section, what should be in each section, a very detailed video, which I'll link on the screen, and you should definitely go and watch that. But that's the second golden rule I have for you today. Arrange your CV in a descending order, starting out first with your current and latest role. Now, the third golden rule I have for you today is you need to quantify your results. It's a no-brainer. It's always given. So a good example in quantifying your results is, rather than you just say responsible for receiving customer feedback, you could instead say implemented a new feedback system that got customer feedback and increased their satisfaction scores by 20% or 50%, thereby increasing sales and revenue by X%. Right? So one thing am I saying here? What's the thing I'm saying? You need to quantify your impact and results. Always put numbers to it. Always put numbers to it. If basically what you did help increase the positioning of the company, let's say there were 5 companies before that were close competitors, and they had equal market share. So basically, if there were 100 people that were to buy 20 people, that was it. But now, based off what you've done, based on your customer feedback, now they have your company is getting 40% of the customers, while the other companies, gets shared remaining 60%. Basically helped your company increase market share from 20% to what? To 40%. And so you want to quantify your impact and results. That's the third golden rule for today. The fourth golden rule I have for you is you need to keep your CVs clean and professional. Now, I've reviewed a CV where I saw someone put his picture, he put his gender, male, he put his state of origin, he put his marital status. This is not your birth certificate. Neither is it your marriage certificate or your certificate to enter heaven. It's a CV. And so what you want to put on your CV is really like, your name, your email address, your LinkedIn profile, and then you go into the sections of your CV: education, work experience, leadership experience, things like that are actually tailored or resonates with the company you're applying to. They need to know all of these things rather than your state of origin and your marital status and your gender. It's not necessarily important for the job you're applying for. So take out all the fluff and all the non-relevant details and make sure your CV is clean, professional, concise. I emphasize the first point, a one-page CV. If any of all of these things sounds interesting, you know what, you should definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel now. So please click on the subscribe button. But even after subscribing, one thing I want to do is go a step further to engage with the community here, which is why we're hosting the Scale Your Career workshop. And what exactly is that workshop for? Is to take live experiences from people. Because one thing I hear often is, I don't have work experience, I don't know how to tailor, I've not done anything that qualifies me to apply for this job, which I think is wrong. Work experience doesn't have to be paid experience. And so in this workshop, we hear from you. I can basically just call someone in the workshop to say, okay, just tell me what you've done. And in that same workshop, what we'll do is take what that person has done and tailor it in a professional way. We can even tailor it to a particular industry or career the person might be interested in pursuing, and then make sure that person can then go ahead, leveraging all the resources you'll find on this YouTube channel to write a good CV that you can use to apply to any job, even a multinational. You can use that CV to apply for it, which is really, what we're solving for with this workshop. And so check the description box for further details on the workshop, and then look out for other materials we'll be posting on this YouTube channel where we speak about the workshop and how you to register and things like that. Let's jump back to the fifth and final point. Now, the final point in terms of golden rules you should definitely take account of when you're writing your CV is, and this is very interesting, depending on the role you're applying for, you might need to tweak sections of your CV. What do I mean by that? If you are applying for, a just like normal graduate trainee, then your work experience section needs to come first, probably just even immediately after your education section, right? Imagine you applying for a leadership role where, what was most important to the organization or to the company was your leadership skills. It was, how you've led people and things like that. Then in that instance, after your educational qualification, your honors, awards, etc., the next thing that should come is your leadership experience, because it is what's most relevant to the role. And so what's the point of the fifth rule is that depending on the nature of the job, the nature of the role, the nature of the organization. Imagine if you're applying to an engineering firm and here you had all of these certificates, you're a current certified, engineer, you have experience with your SolidWorks and all of these things, all these engineering tools. Rather than emphasizing your leadership experience first, I dare say that after work experience section, you need to elevate your certifications, tools, things that, further amplify or elevate your work experience. And then after that, your leadership experience, volunteering, everything can come after. What's the fifth rule? Depending on the role or the company or the nature of the application, you might need to rejig, retweak, move things around in your CV, because the thing you're solving for is what's most important to your reviewer, to your interviewer, to the person looking at your CV comes up. It comes up, and then other things that supplement, that amplify, that just like backup comes afterwards. So there is no one way or one fit or one structure. Just need to always make sure that the way your CV is, or cover letter in fact, is arranged just matches what's most important to the role. So if you can successfully do all of these things, I've said the 5 golden rules, right? Making sure your resume is clear, one page for early career, professionals, making sure that, the most relevant sections are up front. You've done 80% of the work. Just need to make sure that, you go ahead to proofread, go ahead to make sure that there are no typos and things like that, which will take your 80% up to 100%, right? So thank you so much for watching all of these videos. I've made other videos on how to write a perfect CV, even if you think you have no experience, how to write a perfect cover letter, even if you think you have no experience. If you want to take a step further to make sure your CVs and cover letters are rich, insightful, going straight to the point, definitely watch either of these 2 videos. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone.